Thank you for coming to the 2026 football presser. Coach and head coach Maurice Flowers. First, we're going to have an opening statement from Coach Flowers.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. I want to say, first off, thank you, everyone, for being here. Just want to say we're excited to start the season off against a very good Benedict College team and what's called the Battle of the Border Classics. Just really opportunity for states to go at each other, North Carolina versus South Carolina. Also an opportunity for conferences to go against each other with the SIAC versus the CIAA. We're looking forward to it. They're talented, they're well coached, coming off a playoff season where they made it to the second round, and then also a team that made it to the championship game. So a good football team. We know that we're going to have a good game, and we'll have good preparation as we get towards Saturday. But what I can say for us is training camp has been very good for us. We've been creating chemistry. That's the biggest thing that we've looked for, is create great chemistry with our team. And with great chemistry comes confidence, and we can just see it growing each day. Our focus has been on physicality, discipline, and ball security, of course. And with that, all of that comes execution. Things that you look for early in the season, most times in first and second ball games, is ball security and missed tackles. And so we're hoping to take care of a lot of that with our preparation. We just feel like we're just getting prepared to play complementary football in all three phases: offense, defense, and special teams. And our staff and our program, I'll say this, I mean, we've received a lot of preseason accolades and things like that, but our focus isn't on the start, it's the finish line. And I just want to say our preparation really, and our focus is really on executing and earning everything on game day. And so with that, I'll take questions.
We're going to start from Nate and come all the way down.
Coach, makeup of your team, you got a lot of new faces.
Mm-hmm.
How much of that is a benefit to not be complacent? Because these guys they didn't do what the team did last year.
Yes.
How much does that kind of help you kind of just not have that complacency? These guys are coming in with a fresh new look.
Well, I tell you, that's a great question, because we lost 30 seniors last year. That was our first recruiting class from 2022. So you lose that many, and then you bring in, when you have some successful seasons, your recruiting gets easier. and this is most definitely our most talented freshman class. Brought in 35 freshmen, and then we brought about 17 in from the portal. So our roster has grown, like you said, a lot of new guys. But the thing that is consistent is the standard and our core values. And we have a number of guys that are back that understand it. We did have some, February was different. Our off season was different early, and I could feel the young men that had left. They left a big void. But I just applaud our leaders and applaud everybody, all of our guys that's in the program. But they really tightened some screws, and we learned from some adversity. And I think we've got a team that's coming together pretty well.
You talked about successful seasons in the past. For you personally as a coach, how much does that hunger kind of change heading into a new season, especially considering what you did a season ago?
It's hunger. I don't read the papers. I try not to. I try not to look at social media. Our SID and just folks, they're putting things up in our building, and so I've got a curtain over. There's something that has Coach of the Year and all that. I don't look at that stuff. We don't look at the championship picture. We're just, our goals in 26 are the same goals we had in 22. And so that's really how we stay focused and stay grounded, is that there's always work to be done. We've got a hungry football team. That's what I feel, is that we're hungry. I mentioned about in February, we had some rough times in February. Leaders were gone, and you could really, I felt that there were folks in the program that were resting off of 25. And I'm glad we worked those things out of the program. I just thought that was a real changing of the guard there, to have guys that had won a championship gone, and there are guys that were still here that were on the team but didn't play as much. But hey, so what we really had to learn quickly is no one cares about 25. Let's get ready to go for 26.
Starting quarterback McQuarrie.
Yes.
Comes in and has been on campus since I want to say it was June, so he hasn't
Yes.
been here very long. But
Yes.
how quickly did he kind of grab the reins and show you that he's the guy to lead the offense?
Well, we did have a quarterback competition. We had another young man transferred in from Wagner University. He was a starter at Wagner FCS program, Damian Maisel, and it was a really, really tight competition. But what won it out for Parker was just his consistency at all of the little things, and feel very confident with Parker and the work that he puts in. He's a workaholic. He's always watching film. He's always on the field with receivers, and he really is. When I talk about team hunger, it starts with him. This is a young man that was a 4-star coming out of high school, went to UCLA, was behind some guys that are now playing in the NFL, and just really hasn't got his shot to be a starting college quarterback. And so now he comes to us, a team that has had some success, and he's excited to win the starting job. And I look forward to watching him play this season.
It's a while before you guys actually play on your home field for a second, too. We'll open up the season. What do you make of that life on the road to start it as long as it is?
It takes a mature team to do what we're doing right now. And I'll also say that we've earned it. You look at the games that we're playing right now. Our first game is in Columbia against a very good Benedict team, but it's the Battle of the Border Classic. It's very rare that you can get a high-quality game at this magnitude of two teams that finished at the top of their conferences when you're less than 75 miles away. So that's great right there. And then game 2, we earned that one in Canton, Ohio. You had to win your conference championship to play at the Hall of Fame Stadium for the BCHOF Hall of Fame game. So we're really looking forward to it. So we started off with 2 classics, and then we traveled to Winston-Salem State for a night game. We're looking forward to all 3. But I'll say the first 2, we earned our way to those. And game 3, love to play the Rams.
Coach, after winning the conference last year and then getting picked to come and you beat Union for the conference championship.
Yes.
And then when they picked the prediction of order, they picked you behind Union to win the conference. Does that fuel your fire any more than it usually would?
We've got a lot of football to play. That's what I'll say. We have a lot of football to play. And we have a lot of motivation. And does it add to it? Maybe with our guys. When we came back from the media days when it was announced and it was time for our guys to go to work for summer workouts and things, I think they were a little bit more focused. I don't know if it was because of that, but we didn't talk about it. I didn't think it was anything to talk about. We don't talk about polls and things like that. We don't talk about rankings. But what we do know within our program is that we prepare the right way and we take it to game day. We have an opportunity to come out the winner against anybody that we play on Division II football. And so whoever it might be, whether we're picked 2nd, 3rd, 11th, we'll take it.
Coach, it was 5 HBCUs, D2 in the playoffs last year.
Yes.
You start the year with 2 of them. Talk to me about just the magnitude of being able to be in these big games with other D2 HBCUs and the resurgence of the D2 HBCU, especially with the new SR1 and just what it's like to, take that step up into the national picture.
Well, I'll tell you this, is part of our goals when we started. We didn't just want to be a factor in HBCU football. We wanted to be a factor in Division II. And if you look at some of the things that we're doing, Super Region 1, we were the number 2 ranked team. And actually, Super Region 1, Johnson C. Smith, we had the strongest strength of schedule in that region last season. And so then you look at the teams that were selected for the playoffs to have 5 HBCUs, first time in history to do that, and then to start the season ranked. I think that you can see that I will say this very proudly, is that I think that Johnson C. Smith University is proud to say that we're stepping up and we're being recognized. And so from a team that wasn't seen as a power before to do what we've done over the last few years is very gratifying, but we're definitely not satisfied in any kind of way. So we're looking forward to these first 2 ball games. I believe our opponent in Canton, I believe they're number 21 in preseason polls and AFCA poll against the coach that was here with us, Coach Bowser. And so we're looking forward to that one. But I think we've earned the right to play in these big games, earned the right to be considered one of the top teams in Division II and in HBCU. So it feels good, but like I said earlier, it's about the finish line, not the start.
Coach, you've guided this program up through, you know, multiple stages and
Yes.
iterations. What stage do you feel you guys are in now?
Well, they say when you build a program, the first step is you lose big. The second step is you lose close. Then you win close. Then you win big. I want to say we're in that last stage. Okay. But the tough part is sustaining that. And really, we haven't sustained it. I'd say that's where we are right now. But the feel within our program is that we still have a lot of work to do. And there's no sense of complacency there. There's no sense of that we should be given anything. I mean, we really have achieved the success that we've had by earning everything. We have a saying, everything, every day. And so that's the mindset that we come to work with. I really appreciate our young men, and there's so many situations that they might, and maybe when we were first starting, that they could complain about or just look at it a certain way. But they really just put the hard hat on and go to work. And that's what I really like about our young men. And our coaching staff does a great job of just pushing them the right way. And that's really how we've got to this point, is we have a coaching staff that has a lot of continuity. We lost 2 coaches in the off season, one to a head coaching job. Coach Bowser had been with us for 4 years. And then another coach, he took a high school head job back in his hometown. He'd been with us every year. And we replaced him with the head coach, Robert Massey from Winston-Salem State. And then we gained a coach that was from a championship program at Benedict when they won 2 championships. So we replaced them well. But our continuity has helped us get this far, and it's going to help us sustain. And we want to keep climbing. We want to keep climbing. And maybe if we keep climbing, that'll keep us from being picked number 2 in a preseason conference.
Coach, can you talk about the strength of the CIAA conference in football this year?
Yes, sir.
Is it
Yep.
some of the best, the strongest you think you've seen it since you've been here?
Absolutely, absolutely. You think about when Winston-Salem State was on their run, it was Winston-Salem State against everybody else. You look at the CIAA right now, you've got a lot of strong team. Richard Hayes at Fayetteville State, where we used to work, he's gonna be there every year. Of course, Virginia Union, they were back-to-back before last season. They were going for their 3rd one. Virginia State's always going to be a player. And the team in Salisbury, they don't just play us hard the last game of the season because it's a rivalry. They play us hard the last game of the season because they're pretty good. And you know it pains me to say that. But Coach Gilbert does a fantastic job. But Elizabeth City, they return a lot of starters. And Coach Arian Jones, he's going to do a good job this season. So the CIAA has a lot of good teams, and you have to bring it every week. It doesn't really matter about our schedule. We just look to play almost a faceless opponent because we have to bring our A game. Because what we do know with what we've done at JCSU over these last few years, JCSU was a team that everybody wanted to play for homecoming. Okay, and so now we've built our program to where we're a measuring stick for people. If you're a team that hasn't been winning and you want to build, you want to look at JCSU, because you really could look at us and say, well, if they can do it, we can do it, because we really came from the bottom of the conference, and now we're at the top of the conference. So then you have the teams that are at the top of the conference or the middle. They want to test themselves against Johnson C. Smith also, because we're the team right now that's the reigning 25 champion. And so we know that every time we step on the field, we're going to get everyone's A game. I can't think of a game since I've been at Johnson C. Smith where we played a team and they just came out and laid down and say, here, take this win. We get everyone's best shot. And that's why we know we have to prepare the right way.
Coach, how have the conversations with recruits, those living room conversations changed since you got here to now, especially when it comes to kids in the city?
Well, you mentioned it right there, kids in the city. We're going to always start our recruiting in the Charlotte metro area. I'm a Charlottean, proud Charlottean, proud of the football that's played in Charlotte and the metro area as a head coach right across the border at Chester High School also in South Carolina. So I want the high school athletes from here. And so, and have great relationships with all the high school coaches. So it does start here. But those conversations are a little easier now with the high school players, and then also with the transfer portal guys, because now the conversation is the young men are saying, hey, we want to play where you can have an opportunity to win a championship. Couldn't say that some years ago. We want to play and have a chance to be in the playoff stage. We want to play on a team that's nationally ranked. So that to hear those things from parents and to hear from players in this area, that's really good, because as you all very well know, college football in this city, we haven't had the great success in our city. I mean, the team across town, they're very new, and then with us, we're just now resurging. So I believe Charlotte is a city for winners. You look at, there's very few cities in the United States that have what Charlotte, North Carolina has. Pro football, pro basketball, you've got NASCAR, you've got baseball, everything that you want, hockey, everything. And I'm not even bringing in what we do as in the business world. So as a sports team, you want to win in Charlotte. And so I'm very proud to say that we're being a part of that. And we're going to continue it.
You talked about the first two games that you earned your way into, this week, and then obviously in Canton. You just also talked about being a measuring stick
Yes.
for other teams. Using the measuring stick, what are you looking to see out of your guys in these first two games against, as
Yes.
was alluded to, the top flight competition?
Yes, we really want to. We have a standard of play, and it starts with us. It starts in practice. We feel that we want to be one of the best practice teams in America, because if you practice well, you know what you're going to get on game day. And I'll say that our young men, they set a pretty high bar for practice, and so that's where setting the bar starts. And when you say setting the bar, we have a saying in our program: winning looks a certain way, good football looks a certain way. Championship programs look a certain way when they take the field. And so when we say a measuring stick, we really take it seriously that we've brought the program from as far as it has been, but we know that we have a lot more of work to do, and we know that teams know they have to play well to beat us. And we're looking forward to the challenge. We know we're going to be challenged in every game, and we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a whiteout. They've selected us for a game that they want to have the whiteout with this classic. So I guess all the fans and their team is wearing white. And when things like that happen, we love it. To know that teams and crowds are preparing for you. You're the big ticket. And that's one of the things we say when you come to Johnson C. Smith. We take every game as a big game, but you're going to play in big games at Johnson C. Smith. You're going to play on national television at Johnson C. Smith. How many Division II schools can say that, HBCU or non, that you're going to be playing on TV every year? And we feel like we've earned that right. And with that comes a certain level of play that's expected.
Coach, when you go to Canton, in the bottom of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, there's the HBCU Hall of Fame. Do you plan on taking your team there when you go to show them the legacy of where they've come, what's been before them?
Absolutely, absolutely, because the Black College Hall of Fame, because we won the CIAA championship, our coaching staff was chosen for the Legacy Bowl, and the Legacy Bowl pits the SIAC champion and the SWAC champion top players against the top players from the CIAA and the MEAC. But the folks who started that game was Doug Williams and James Shack Harris, two guys that are in the Hall of Fame and the Black College Hall of Fame. And they're also, for me, where so special is they're also former quarterbacks, okay? And see, you look at me, I'm 6'3", and I wasn't this big when I played, but I'm 6'3", I was a big quarterback. When I get around Doug Williams and Shaq Harris, boy, I see what a real big quarterback looks like. And those were my heroes growing up. And so our young men, we're looking for, that's part of our tour. We'll have that tour on Saturday when we get to Canton. And it's going to be a time where they're going to understand where it all started. Because with Johnson C. Smith also, we're the first, along with the team in Salisbury, we played in the first HBCU football game. There's recognition of that in the Hall of Fame too, in the Black College Hall of Fame too. So we're looking forward to going to be a part of history and to see history and to know that this is where our young men know the history of HBCUs, but this is where they started, where all the draft picks started were in HBCUs before integration.
Coach, you talked about new leadership. I noticed last time I was at practice, you switched the motto to still not done yet from not done yet. And I also heard, guys like Anthony Benyard, who's a transfer from Fayetteville, was real active and loud. Vince Hill's real active and loud. Just talk to me about like continuing that process from not done yet to still not done yet, to seeing these guys you've brought in kind of take that leadership role, and just what's that like as a coach, kind of seeing the progression of the culture.
I'll start with the motto for this year. In 25, I don't think of the motto. I don't, and it comes with a guy that's really supportive of our program. Speaks to us 2 or 3 times a year at every game that he can be at. But that's Mr. Rick Elias, and Rick came with that one, with not done yet. And then so I asked him, I said, what do you think about this year? He said, well, we still got a lot of work to do. And he said, how about still not done? And it just fits. It fits our program. It fits where we are. It keeps the complacency away. And so that's how we break now, from 25 to 26. That's what we break down on. And you talk about those leaders. I'm tough on leaders. I'm tough on our leaders because I was at Johnson C. Smith. One of the reasons that I know that I coach and lead so hard because I did not win here. But one of the reasons that I feel that we did not win here when I played was because I did not lead well. I felt as an All-American quarterback, I thought that I might have done okay as a quarterback, but as a leader of my team, I faltered. So we have a leadership council, and then within the leadership council, we've got some guys that are just different. Anthony Benyard, these guys, we let them know if you're on the leadership council, you're just an extension of the staff. And I think you all hear, as much as you all cover sports, and you'll hear coaches say we want a player-led team. A player-led team is what wins. And so we probably, I say in 24 is when we took that big step to be a player-led team. We started off 8-0 and then lost the last 2. That's probably one of the biggest and best lessons this program has learned, because you learn so much from adversity. And then you help your leaders learn from those adversities also. And so with these young men stepping up, they just know the standard of what's expected around here. Our freshmen, they have a tough way to go with our older guys. There is such a responsibility to play a certain way. You mentioned the guys you mentioned, Anthony Benyard and Vince Hill. Those guys play defense. Vince Hill's an All-American linebacker. Anthony Benyard came from Fayetteville State, was on Fayetteville State's championship team in 22. Okay, and so Anthony Benyard, in that year, in 22, it's 23. 23 was Fayetteville State's championship year. And so Anthony Benyard, we had 2 4th and 1s at Fayetteville State. 4th and 1. Convert those, keep a drive alive, let's go score. And you got to remember, for 3 years, we lost to Fayetteville State, all 1-score games. But Anthony Benyard was the guy that stopped us on all those. So as soon as he jumped in that transfer portal, we had to get him to Charlotte. But he's a young man that leads by example and leads by his voice too. He really showed it in the spring. We had a young man have a roughing 15-yard penalty in the spring, and the way that he talked to the young man, I was just glad to be there to witness it. And so those 2 guys are playing for a defense. In 23, our defense is number 1 defense in Division II. In 24, they're number 6. And then last year, they're in the top 10. So to play defense at Johnson C. Smith means something. And those guys have great pride in what they do. And so I'm just glad they lead the way they do. And again, we give our leaders the keys to the program.
One last question.
Yes.
What do you hang your hat on this year? So we talk about the team and,
Yes.
what's going to have you guys have
Yeah.
success this year.
I tell you what, Will, Parker McQuarrie, he's got a big arm, and you guys, in 24 we had the All CIAA quarterback. 25 last year we had the All CIAA quarterback, and he possesses some of the same skills. But he's come in the way he's come in, we introduced him to his 2 new best friends. That's a great defense and a great running game. So he doesn't have to do it alone, and so we're going to hang our hat on our defense. And we're going to hang our hat on our running game. We have 4 out of 5 starters coming back on the offensive line. And that was an offensive line that helped produce a 1,000-yard rusher and a running back that was first-team all CIAA and a quarterback that was all CIAA, led the league in passing. And so we have a receiving core that's probably the deepest core that we've had since we've been here. And that says a whole lot. And we just feel like for us to continue growing as a program, we had to strengthen our roster. And that means depth. When we played the championship game, we had, our young men gave it up in the championship game. First championship in 56 years here at JCSU. But with that, we were banged up for the playoffs the next week. The team that played the first home playoff game in Johnson C. Smith history, that was not the same team that played the week before because we were so banged up. So how do we correct that? We had to strengthen the roster. Our backups got better. We recruited a little bit more. And so what we think we have right now, we think we have the most talented roster we've had since we've been here, but talent doesn't guarantee wins. The chemistry, we feel like we're getting that, but we're going to hang our hat on old Golden State motto, strength in numbers. We're definitely going to have that. You all know Columbia, South Carolina is one of the hottest places around. So we're going to need our numbers when we go to Columbia on Saturday, and we're going to hang our hat on the things that we've done in the past. That's playing strong physical defense and being physical on offense and running it. But of course, we're going to throw that thing around the yard a little bit too. But what we really want to be known for and what we have is really playing good, clean football. Not a lot of turnovers, not a lot of flags, and just heavy execution. And really, we play football with a boxer's mentality. We want to get you to the fourth quarter. And in the boxer's mentality, you've heard a lot of folks that come out of Floyd Mayweather's camp. You want to get you to the late rounds, and they call it taking you out to the deep. And so that's what we want to do as a program. We want to take you out to the deep, because also that's when experience, championship level experience, that's when it comes into play right then. We're not going to panic. We're just going to stay with it. And so that's what we're going to hang our hats on. All right.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you so much for coming.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
And if
Thank
you
you all.
all, we might have practice 4 o'clock.
Yeah, we're 4 to 6 this
If you
week.
want to catch some B-roll.